There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Rita Egidio, and I'm the host of the influential Creatrix. And today I have Suzanne here with me, and we are going for a treat. Next 20 to 30 minutes are going to be around Suzanne and her choices and her coaching and everything beautiful that she does. My dear, I always ask my guests to present themselves, my ladies to present themselves. So please take the microphone and talk about yourself. This is a place to advertising yourself unapologetic. Okay.
Awesome. So I'm Susan Binnie, and I started my entrepreneurial journey in 2017 when I figured out that I'm great at talking. Now, it's funny that I say that, but my dad always said to me, find something you truly love to do and figure out how to get paid for it. And I've always loved telling story, but not just any story. It's about finding the power in the story that you need to stand in. So I help women uncover the story they're telling themselves that keeps them stuck, because that's what I did, and also how to break through that story, as well as the entrepreneurial woman taking that story and turning it into what you need to tell your ideal clients, what you need to put out to the world so that you're not the best kept secret. Our stories matter, and it's really about telling that story.
Oh my God, that is what I do. So in a different way than you, I'm an amplifier. I work with women to help them grow online, to help them raising their standards about money and help them getting clients and raising their prices. But I start as teaching digital influence, so how to grow on Instagram and Facebook and etc. And I always tell that you need to tell your story, because if you don't tell your story, and then you can come to me and I can make your story more beautiful. But then if you don't tell your story, we love stories. We learn from stories. If you teach a story to a kid with numbers, you will remember the numbers. People who have amazing memories, they remember because they tell stories between the numbers, for example, or the names. So it is beautiful then you say that, because tomorrow I have this live event, and it's 3 days, 1 hour and a half a day, how to become an influence queen. You are invited already. I'll send you a link. And the first day is going to be about finding your story and telling your story. So it's super interesting then you say that, because so many people, so many websites, so many people don't tell their story. So why should I work with you if I don't know who you are?
Exactly. Yeah. And I find it too, and I'm sure you can relate with this. It's about telling the right story. So quite often people will think they have to tell this huge, horrific story that happened to them, right? There was this one woman that I worked with not too long ago who was like, oh, I have to tell the story about my dad. And he lived with cancer, and he had this horrific battle, and then he died from cancer and everything he went through, and on and on and on. And I said, well, that's fantastic that you can tell that story and tell it vulnerably, but how does that tie to the work that you do? She goes, well, it doesn't. I'm a makeup artist. Okay, so then why do you want to tell that story? Well, because it's a really hard story. And I was like, okay, that's great, but it needs to tie to what you do.
Or she's just craving for attention, what makes sense, right? And we respect her pain.
Exactly. And in the end, it turned out that it wasn't the story that tied to what she did, but it was the story that she wanted to tell, and there was purpose there behind it. So now she works with people to help them overcome chronic pain, disease in parents. And I'm like,
very interesting.
Okay, you found your passion because that was the story you were passionate about telling. So sometimes, and for me, I've got a bit of a story. And can I share with your listeners just really quickly?
Please tell you. I was going to say, tell your story.
Tell your story. Okay. So I'll make it the short version, because that's the other thing. You can tell a really long version or a really short version, and it depends on what you're telling it for and who you're telling it to. And I love what you said about the experience, right? Because it's the memories and the experience. If we have a good experience in a story that we remember and we tell, we're going to remember that, and so are other people, right? So when I started my entrepreneurial career 2017, just prior to that, in 2015, I'd actually been laid off of a 17-year job, 17-year career. I thought I was going to end my job, right? At this is where I was going to be until I retired. And I was laid off, downside, no fault of my own. It was the worst day of my life. But in retrospect, it was the best day of my life, because it was the universe kicking me in the butt saying, go do what you're passionate about, what you're meant to do in the world. I had taken the word can't out of my daughter's world because she was born with a disability, and the doctors and her circumstances put this word can't into her world. And I said to her, you know what, honey, you can do anything you set your mind to. It's about figuring out what you can do and what you will do to get to what you want and make it happen. But although I told it to her, I never took it out of my world. So I worked at a job for convenience, for flexibility, for a pension. And anytime someone said to me, well, are you truly passionate about where you work? Well, yeah, I am, but I can't leave. They're like, why not? Well, because I've got the flexibility and that I can't go anywhere else. And so I believe the universe heard me and said, you know what, you can, you will. And who are you? So it was about deciding who I was and looking at those things I can do. And the one thing I remember without a doubt was, if I can take that word out of my daughter's world, I can take it out of mine. And so now I help women take that out of their world as well, because once I focused on what I could do, and once we focus on, these are the things I can do, these are the things I can't do. Okay, why can't you do them? Do you need to learn? Do you need to work with a mentor? Do you need to, work with somebody? Do you need to get some self-help? Or do you need to find somebody else to do that part of it for you? And then you can have the life you want. And so when I uncovered those secrets and started working with people to have that come to fruition, I'm like, this is truly what I was meant to do in the world. And I really haven't looked back, because it was, like I say, the best. It turned into the best day of my life.
It's so funny, because I was a DJ since 2008 and I was touring the world. And I remember specific day, I was in the United States, I was in California, and I told my ex-husband, then I did want to be a coach. I was an NLP practitioner at that time as well. And I did want to be a coach. I did want to be a speaker. I did want to be a coach. I had that inspirational thing inside of me. And I remember then he looked to me and he said, I remember the words, oh, that is not fun for me. And I shrink myself and I keep doing the DJ thing. Then I love it, but was not enough for me to produce the transformation, because I work with people as you can go and work with other people, and I help them to achieve more clients, more people. So I use TAP at EFT, so much more physical, spiritual thing. I'm so invested. I love what I do. Then in that moment, I put that aside, my dreams aside, and I was living the dreams of someone else. And then COVID hit, and we are out of work, and we don't know how to feed our kids, and we don't know, we lost the house, and we lost the car, and we lost all things that we had. And I allowed myself to become initially an influence coach, and today a much more deep work than that. So again, if you really want something, the universe will come to you and shake your world.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing how do you, in the beginning, it feels like you are being punished. And on the end, the other side, then it's a bright light. I'm much more happy today on that sense than I am, or I was any day playing, even if I love to play and I love to tour, and that is still inside of me. But when I have a client who's working with me and is having issues with sales, and we jump on a call and we have some tapping, and then she goes and close 3-4 clients, no money can pay that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said. I mean, and I think that when there is a hardship, right? Like COVID hit, that cracked my world wide open as well. Because I was doing events in person and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this online. I don't want to do the Zoom thing. I don't want to, right? But I started doing different, I was coaching online, but I started doing online events and different things. And what really happened to me, and I love when you say about the EFT and the NLP, because my world cracked right open. And I was in my space and my higher power came to me. And spiritually, it just cracked me wide open.
This is so funny. I did 4 podcasts today. Everyone that I encounter on this comes, and majority of us are very technical, like how to get more followers, how to get more engagement. It's a really technical, detailed. But we all are allowing the magic, allowing the spiritual, the witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. Some names are still very bad thing. I don't know. Like you have a meaningful meaning. And we are embracing that, right?
Yeah. And it's really just opened up that higher level of consciousness. I think something had to happen, right? Something had to sort of twist that switch in the world to open that up for people. And I know for me, I'm grateful every day. Sometimes a little too much, right? I was on a call with a client last night and I was getting all these downloads and I'm getting all this spiritual. And I just had to say, okay, stop. You got to stop. I got to make sense of this because I got to explain this, right? And in that moment, I'm like, I just have to tell her what's happening because she wasn't open to this whole world of woo, which is what I call it. But once I told her what was happening and I said, I just need to speak and you need to listen and then we're going to make sense of it. She's like, cool. And the more I spoke, the more I downloaded, it just made sense. It all flowed together. And so it wasn't like anything had to stop. I just had to explain what was happening. And it was beautiful.
It's beautiful. Half an hour ago, I was on the phone with a client, same story. And she was going to release this 6 weeks challenge, $500. And she's amazing fixing is a bad, helping people to solve anxiety and panic attacks. And I was saying, look, why you are going to, have that as well as an option, but go for 1,000, 1,500 of 1 month's working with you. And she was saying, oh, but that is too expensive. Then I was breaking that down to 1,000 to 4 weeks. For 4 calls is $250 plus all the content then you have. Is that expensive to fix a problem? Then it's dragging you. I know because I have anxiety. So it's beautiful. And this is the information who came because in her mind, she was going to do this challenge for $500.
Right. And I think that's very common with women, right? And I mean, you help women with that. But I think it's very common because we don't see our own worth. Like a man doesn't have a problem charging, right? No. He's like, it's $1,500. You're just going to pay for it. And you're going to work with me for 2 hours and then it's done. But we try to justify. I mean, I was in that space for a long time. Whoa, I can't charge that much, right? But you can charge that much.
Why? What do you think you could not? Like, I'm saying that because I had the same issue. Okay. My tickets at this moment is 1 month working with me is $1,500 or $1,500. 3 months is $3,500 depending. I have package of 5,000 where we do the social media for the clients. And when I see the package, I even think, oh my God, I'm asking because I have this guarantee. I have success guarantee. So when we start working together, we will decide what are your goals together. And we will work until the end to reach your goal. And I will be working with you until you reach your goal, whatever is 3 months or 1 month or whatever. So it's super interesting that I shifted, but I shifted with the help of a lot of tapping and a lot of meditation for business. How did you shift that on you?
I shifted it basically by looking at sort of the industry standard and what other people are doing out there and the successful people, right? Because for the longest time, I lived in lack and it was my money story. The money story of if I have it, I'll spend it. If I don't, I'll do without.
Oh my God, you did not trust yourself with money. That is a big thing.
Absolutely, right?
That is a big thing for me as well.
Right. And when I have it, I spend it. So money doesn't want to come to me. It doesn't want to stay with me. I don't love it enough to keep it. I'm not saving it. I'm not, I'm just giving it away. And so energetically, money didn't want to come to me, but I also didn't feel worthy. And I mean, that's a story that I lived from when I was 6 years old. And my brother said to me, you know, you're not pretty, you don't have any friends, you'll never amount to anything in this world, and you'll never be successful.
Oh my
And
God.
I heard that at 6. Now he was 8, so I know he was going through stuff as well. But I've uncovered that it's his story, not mine, because I heard that. And because I was at that influential age, I held that and carried myself in the role of victim for years and years and years and years. Right. And I mean, I've got a child with a disability. I've got a child with chronic pain. My husband's got PTSD, all of these things that I needed to feel needed, but I don't think I ever felt worthy enough to get paid for who I am and what I do. I just did it because. So once I broke through that story and started rewriting my past, I realized not only am I worthy of it, but I deserve it because I am good enough and I do matter.
Yeah, and probably you have the same thing than me. I know what I bring to the table. I know how passionate I am for my clients. I know I will chase the results. I will figure out, we will work together. And I work with some women who ask $30,000 for 3 months of work. And I ask 10% of that, and my face is like, oh, what I'm doing wrong.
Right?
It's so interesting. And I have this client. She's not my client. She's in the process to start. She's $30,000 for 3 months of work. And she's fully booked. And I'm working with her, having the feeling that I didn't need to work with her and she should be my coach and not the opposite. Like, what is this beliefs?
Yeah, but you've got a specialty that she needs,
Yes.
right? And I think that that's key, right? Like I have a gift and my gift is valuable. And to discount that gift, to discount how I work with people, because, you know, as we're talking, I'm like, oh, well, geez, I should be working with you. But wait a minute, what story are you telling? Do you want to work with me? Like, doesn't mean we couldn't be each other's clients. But as women, I find we look at the people that were sort of in our circle, right? So if you're seeing people who don't have money, then you're like, oh, I'll charge you less and I'll give and I'll give and I'll give.
But we cannot do that because
we can't, and that's
helping them as well. Because
exactly
the people who come for free or low tickets, they will not invest themselves as much as they need. And that is the reason why my guarantee of success comes with the deal between us, for example, and you are coming to the sessions and I will be here for the sessions. That don't mean then we cannot be flexible and some week have a different agreement, but I need the other person to invest. And if the other person invests $3,000 for 3 months of work with me, it means then needs some money, except if he's a multimillionaire and don't give a damn. But there is it's always about proportion. If I ask $300 for 6 weeks of work, majority of them after 2 weeks are not there anymore. I'd say this because I start with this kind of tickets. And first week, everyone was on the call. Second week, half of the people. Third week, and they are gone. Even if you are giving valuable. And then is another thing, another problem. I don't know if you have that. Many people are scared, and I have been there, of success. And when they see with you, they are successful, they are going to reach their goals, they get so scared, they run to the other direction.
Yeah. I can relate to that 100%. Okay.
I had a client who pay me $1,000 for 2 sessions of work with me for his brands, and I never saw him. He disappeared. You know how annoyed I was with that?
Yeah.
Because I care.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes I think, I know for me, I care too much. Okay. And I give too much and I give so much. But usually I find like there's some people that have said to me, Susan, you give away too much stuff. Okay. Well, I give away a free call with people. But once they understand who I am, and how I work, they're like, oh my God, I love you. And you can bring me to such a higher level. I know you can relate to this, right? And when they see that, they're like, I will pay whatever I have to because of the results that you're going to help me with, right? And I think that fear of success, I know for me, and I know for a lot of women that I've talked to, comes from, we then have to change our life.
Oh yeah. My issue was that I knew if I could make money, I was going to leave the relation how I did live, but I left as well, not just the relation, but my family. So I took me to a position where I decided to take a year off motherhood. What is a tough decision because I have teenager kids, but I have one daughter with 7 years old. But I did need to do something for myself because I was not okay. I was not balanced. I was very in a bad mental shape and heart. I did not know who I was. I give it, but I knew it. Then success was allowing me to do that. And I was so scared of that. And I played so small.
Yeah.
I don't know
and
if you have examples like this, but.
Well, I played small for a long time because I knew that if I stretched outside of my comfort zone, then my life would change. I would want to travel. I would want to do more. And then how does that change my family dynamic? Can I leave my family? Can I, and it's that doubt, it's that self-doubt, that the self-worry of worth, that I know I'm worth that amount of money. And I can charge, like you, my rates are very similar to yours. I can charge $3,000 for 3 months. But I also know that if I can work with somebody over a month and charge them $2,500 to get them what they need, work with them every week so that they can get to where they need to be quicker and they can advance quicker, they'll make more, I'll make more, we'll all grow higher, faster together. Mm-hmm. And I had to look at, what does that look like? And do I want that in my life? Hell yeah. And when you say, yes, I want what that's going to bring me, and you can literally, and I see this as you literally shift and step into that and go, how will my life change? What will I be able to do? How can I help, underprivileged people? Where can my money go? What can I do with that? Then all of a sudden the shift can happen. Mm-hmm. And so I work with people too around story. And I was saying this at the beginning where it's the story they're telling themselves, keeping them stuck. Sometimes it's about going to past stories to rewrite them. But quite often it's about the story in the future. What do you want? And if you're setting up and you want to do all of this stuff, then you have to make that amount of money to make that happen. No, you have to claim your worth.
Just knowing as well, how many people can you help? Women with more money. I have a project. My mom, her name is Linda Valent, and it means beautiful and brave. It's her name meaning. And she died when I was 10. And not that my mom had any issues with my dad, but each 4 clients that I close, I give full access to my courses to someone who's struggling with abuse and financial dependence. And I found that uplifting for myself and as well uplifting for my clients because they know they are part of the equation, right? And I start seeing what can I do? How can I improve the lives of people that I love? Because I'm a giver. So what can I improve my life? What kind of house I want to live? What kind of life I want to live? What kind of car I want to drive? I'm a minimalist, so I'm a very not into expensive things. But what I have, I prefer then is be good. And I want to have a good phone. I want to have a good computer. I want to have basic good quality clothes, so I don't need to be constantly buying. And so we have to it's our obligation to make more money.
Amen.
Right?
Amen, sister. Yes. And I think that's the shift that people need to make. People deserve to make that shift, right? And one of the things I think that people get stuck on is the how. And it's not about the how, it's about jumping in, right? And just doing. Like when I was gifted my child, she had a disability and she chose me as her mom. And she chose that disability, that was her life course. Now, it could have stopped her or it could have helped her. And I helped her see that, you can do anything you want to do. And so now she strives for the highest potential. But if I said to her, well, honey, no, you don't deserve any of that. You should just be this. Then that's what she would strive to. So it's about telling ourselves that we deserve that lifestyle. We deserve.
And she deserves to see you achieving things.
Amen. Yes. And that modeled behavior. Yes. And it's not about the fear, right? Of how am I going to do this? I'm just doing it. I'm just jumping.
I have a nice quote for you.
Yeah.
Be the person who take ownership of the result before having any clue how to get results.
Oh, yes. I love that so much.
Right?
I love that. Because if we can take ownership of what that is, oh my God, you have no idea how much I love that. Because if we can take ownership for that success and what it is that we deserve, then it will come to us. Everything does. I mean, we manifest, we're all energy, right? If you treat money, I just learned this, and you probably already know this, but I just learned this and it's coming to my mind.
I have a course named Cash Money Magnets. So probably what you're going to say.
Okay, so absolutely you teach it.
I can show you my money altar. I have like an altar for money with like golden bidets, and I love you money is what's like, I'm obsessed with, I'm not in a position at this moment and I'm a millionaire, but I don't have anxiety about money. I shift that. So right. I know always comes to me.
Yes. And that is the shift that everybody needs. For me, it was when I realized that having a relationship with money was the same as having a relationship with spouse.
Yes.
Right. It had to mean, and I
know
you know that, right? Because for me, I was like, well, if I have it, I spend it. And if I don't, I do without. Well, wait a minute. If I have a good relationship, I enjoy that. And if I don't, I'll just discard it. No, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to make him feel valuable. And he makes me feel valuable. So I'm going to do the same with money. And when that energy shifted, money just started flowing, just automatically, right? Money flows to me from known and unknown sources easily.
Oh my God, I love that. I use that a lot of tapping on the event. We are going to tap a lot, and money is going to be present in all tappings. I'm obsessed. Another obsession that I have this moment is more money I make, more fun I have, more money I make.
Nice.
More fun I have, more money I make. And sometimes take a break. Like for example, Monday, I'm working as well. I'm doing the hours, the game plan. Then I offer. Obviously, then I'm going to offer that to you if you want. Then the same way. Then it's about, for example, that I was so scared of being sales, like selling something. Yep. And I realized that I'm giving a solution. And I start, when I go to my game plans, to my calls, I really go to the call to find things that who's going to amaze you. That's going to, of course I can do this and that. And then see if it's a click between us, because you don't want to work with everyone. You have people and you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
And understanding then that is okay. Because in the beginning, I didn't want to work with anyone. I just didn't want to work with everyone. It's not true. Some people are not a good fit for you.
Yeah. And to recognize that and to honor that and find them help through somebody else. And this is something that I've, if somebody doesn't resonate with me, I know so many people that I will find someone else that can help them. Mm-hmm. And then I feel good about that. And then the person that I refer them to, then they refer me clients, and it's still give and take, right? That money still is flowing. The energy is still flowing. And that's so important.
And women need to support the women.
Yes. Absolutely.
We need to support the women. So tell me, how can people find you online?
So all they have to remember is my name, Susan Binnie, because you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Susan Binnie. You can Google me. I'll come up in all of those places. Okay. The best way to reach me is susan@susanbinnie.com, which is my email address, or my website, susanbinnie.com.
Amazing. You are going to send me a link anyway.
Yes, I am.
My dear, I could be talking with you. I'm looking to the time. I was like, I could be talking with you for hours.
Yes.
Just know that. So I'm going to say bye to our people who are listening to us and say, guys, don't forget, ladies, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, all that. And I'm going to talk with Susan without you guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.